A new face of fear. A year after Dr. Rose Cotter's tragic death, the curse has quietly resurfaced. Alexis Fielder, a rising pop singer, collapses on stage mid-performance. Witnesses say she smiled unnaturally right before screaming and vanishing. Video of the event goes viral, and those who watch it begin to act strangely. Enter Cassidy Reyes, a trauma therapist and Alexis's childhood friend. She receives a mysterious voice message from Alexis sent after her death. The smile returns. Cassidy investigates Alexis's last weeks, discovering cryptic drawings and mirrors covered with sheets. She plays the voicemail. It ends with distorted laughter and whispering. The audio reveals one chilling phrase, "Your next Cass." Cassidy brushes it off until she sees a man grinning at her through a mirror, then vanish. At a therapy session, one of her clients suddenly starts smiling, and then ends his life. The curse has found its next path. The pattern emerges. Cassidy visits Detective Joel, still shaken from his brush with Rose's curse. Joel explains the grin suicide chain has never truly stopped, only hidden. Cassidy starts mapping suicides linked by witnesses, all saw smiles before dying. Each victim left behind strange sketches or videos of themselves smiling. Cassidy's own reflection begins grinning back at her when she turns away. The entity is watching, and now it wants her. The mirror host Cassidy learns that Alexis had become obsessed with folklore about mirrors trapping souls. One journal entry reads, "The smile isn't theirs, it's what's beneath." Cassidy covers all the mirrors in her house, but keeps hearing laughter in the dark. She records herself sleeping and sees her sleeping body smiling at the camera. The entity now moves between reflections, windows, screens, even puddles. Its new form, the mirror host. An unexpected ally. Cassidy tracks down Madeline Wu, a disgraced psychology professor. Madeline studies emotive mimetic curses and believes the smile entity feeds on emotional trauma. She warns Cassidy, it doesn't just haunt, it infects. Madeline explains that the entity is evolving, adapting through digital media. Now, it spreads not just through trauma, but through viral viewing. Anyone who sees a smile suicide clip becomes a target. Death at a distance. Cassidy's intern Tyler watches Alexis's final concert video. 2 days later, he begins experiencing hallucinations, figures smiling at him in public. Cassidy begs him to speak to Madeline, but he panics and locks himself in a sound booth. Live on a live stream. Tyler turns to the camera and slashes his throat, smiling. Cassidy realizes the entity wants attention. It feeds off spectacle, and Tyler just gave it more. The Smile Society. Joel discovers an underground forum dedicated to surviving the smile curse. They call themselves the Null Circle, and they have seen the entity. Some of them wear blindfolds, avoid screens, or keep their faces covered. Cassidy contacts one member, Marcus, who claims to have broken the chain. He says, "You don't break it, you bury it with someone worse than you." Cassidy recoils. He implies murder is the only way to survive. Ethics versus survival. Madeline confirms Marcus's theory. Transferring the trauma works if it's witnessed. Cassidy realizes this is how Rose's patient passed the curse to her. That the choice is unbearable: sacrifice an innocent or die horribly. She isolates herself, trying to resist the pattern, but she begins seeing the entity in her childhood photos, grinning in the background. Time is running out. Back to where it began, Cassidy travels to Rose Cotter's old home, hoping to understand the curse's origin. Inside, she finds old drawings of twisted smiles and a burned journal. In the basement, she discovers a mirror Rose shattered, still humming with faint laughter. Cassidy touches it and flashes into a vision. Victims, hundreds, laughing, crying, all trapped behind glass. One whispers, "It won't stop until it smiles through everyone." Viral plague. Joel reveals that a new TikTok trend is spreading, the Ismail Stare Challenge. It began as a joke, but ends with one teen's suicide on livestream. Copycat deaths start appearing around the globe. Now, Cassidy realizes the curse is now global, digitally embedded and nearly unstoppable. Madeline says it's not a ghost, it's a meme. And memes don't die. There's only one hope: reverse the transmission. The reversal theory. Madeline explains her hypothesis. Trauma can be absorbed rather than passed, but the absorber must willingly take on the entity's pain without releasing it. Cassidy considers sacrificing herself to contain the curse permanently, but doing so means she will suffer the trauma of every victim eternally. Joel protests, but Cassidy believes this might be the only way to end it. They prepare for the ritual deep inside the asylum where Rose died. A place of power, they sneak into the abandoned ward where the first recorded Smile suicide occurred. The mirrors are all covered with blood-soaked sheets. Cassidy enters the sealed observation room, where the walls are scratched with smiles. She begins the absorption ritual, watching every viral clip and reading the journals. The entity manifests. Hovering, shifting, made of all the smiling faces, it whispers, "You invited me." Smiles storm, the ritual backfires. Cassidy's mind floods with pain, guilt, and laughter. She sees herself in every victim's death, helpless, screaming, smiling. Joel tries to break the mirror, but is locked outside by an invisible force. Cassidy's eyes go wide as the entity enters her fully. The room goes silent. Cassidy smiles. Infected host Cassidy emerges from the asylum, normal at first glance, but Joel notices something wrong. Her smile lasts too long. Her voice echoes, subtly off-sync, like multiple voices at once. She insists she's fine, but Joel begins seeing things. Reflections of her staring at him before she turns. She didn't absorb the curse, she became it. Echo victims Cassidy's clients begin dying mysteriously, always smiling. Her popularity rises online after a healing smile video goes viral. The public adores her, unaware of what's hiding behind her teeth. Madeline confronts Joel, but she's no longer Cassidy. She's the smile incarnate. The curse didn't die, it upgraded, and now it has a voice. Joel's gamble. Joel steals one of Cassidy's recording devices and watches her transformation. He sees footage of her talking to a mirror for hours, grinning. He devises a plan. Broadcast the truth, expose the entity to the world. But doing so risks infecting millions more, he wonders. Is truth worth global doom? He hits upload. Digital reckoning, the footage spreads like wildfire. Debunkers, believers, horror channels all react. Some viewers smile uncontrollably and vanish days later. Others claim they've seen a smiling people following them. The world teeters on the edge of panic. Joel is arrested for causing mass hysteria. Cassidy, she goes silent and disappears. 30 days later, new suicide spikes reported globally, all with the signature smile. Governments restrict viral footage, but it's too late. Urban legends call it the Grin Plague. Mirrors are being smashed in hotels, schools, homes. Cassidy appears on a rooftop in Prague, smiling before vanishing into shadow. The entity is now everywhere. Final message, a new podcast surfaces. A Smile Watchers. Its latest episode features audio from an unknown source, Cassidy. She says, "The smile is not a curse, it's freedom, and soon we'll all wear it." The audio ends with static and soft, infectious laughter. Listeners report strange dreams, and the smile continues. Post-credits scene, a little girl watches a cartoon where all characters suddenly smile. She turns the screen, smiling back. The camera zooms into her eye, revealing Cassidy's reflection deep within. The screen glitches to black. One last whisper, "Smile for me."